The idea of paying attention plays a central role in understanding memes. A meme that lots of people pay attention to will be more successful than a meme that few notice. So over the millions of years necessary for major genetic evolution to take place, we aren't surprised to find that most animals, including ourselves, have a genetic tendency to pay attention to the things that were important in getting us where we are today: danger, food, and sex. In our search for mind viruses, then, our first candidates will be situations that push one or more of these 4 buttons: anger, fear, hunger, and lust, and thus draw our precious attention to a use of our consciousness for which, upon reflection, we would not choose to spend it. Enhanced communication had huge survival value in the evolution of human beings, but the innovation that makes us human is consciousness. It's the same innovation that makes us such a wonderful environment for meme evolution. The deep thoughts we think and the elegant intellectual models we build are all kludged on top of the advanced survival and mating functions of the brain, which in turn are kludged on top of the primitive survival and mating functions: fear, anger, hunger, and lust. Our brains evolved countless secondary strategies to make us better not only at survival and reproduction, but also at satisfying those 4 first-order urges. Here are a few second-order instinctual drives some people seem to have that are all opportunities for memes to take advantage of. Belonging. Memes that give people a feeling of belonging to a group have an advantage over memes that don't. Distinguishing yourself. Any memes that make people feel distinguished, special, or important have an edge in meme evolution. Caring. Memes that take advantage of people's caring natures have an advantage in the battle for a share of our minds. Approval. Successful memes hook into people's drive to get approval and play on the guilt, shame, and hurt that result if they don't get it. And obeying authority. It was in an individual's genetic interest, that is, in the interest of his or her DNA, to recognize that obeying the authority of someone more powerful increases his DNA's chance of survival and replication, while fighting the authority might get him or her killed or left out in the cold. The way these second-order drives work is similar to the way the primary drives work. You get some kind of good feeling when you're doing the thing that the drive drives you to do, or you get a bad feeling when you're not. People have many secondary drives connected to various strong feelings, and memes that activate these feelings have the evolutionary advantage. We will simply pay more attention to memes that push our buttons because that is our nature. Our tendency to pay special attention to these memes makes them more likely to replicate and become embedded in our culture. Memes that push our primary and secondary buttons have an evolutionary advantage over memes that don't, even if those other memes might be more accurate or more supportive of our quality of life. Remember, quality of life is not what natural selection is about. Quantity of replication is. Just as DNA replicates when the organism it generates survives and reproduces, memes replicate when the behavior they cause attracts attention. Pushing our buttons is a great way to attract attention to a meme, so memes that annoy, seduce, enrage, or scare us tend to become widespread. In addition to the survival-oriented memes that are still with us, there are some more types of memes that don't seem to particularly help or hurt our survival, but by their very nature are fit to spread effectively. Tradition. A strategy meme to continue what was done or believed in the past is automatically self-perpetuating. People infected with tradition memes are programmed to repeat this meme in the future and spread this meme to future generations. Traditions die hard. Evangelism. Any meme that explicitly involves spreading itself to other people has an added advantage over other memes. Evangelism is often combined with the mission meme, making it even more powerful. Then there are the memes that become entrenched in people's minds and are extremely resistant to attack. Faith. Any meme that entails believing in it blindly can never be dislodged from your belief system by any attack or argument. Combined with evangelism, faith makes for a powerful mind virus envelope that can be stuffed with just about any content. Skepticism. Questioning new ideas is a defense against new memes. The opposite of faith, Skepticism actually has a very similar effect on the mind programmed with it. Skeptics are resistant to new ideas just as the faithful are. A faithful and a skeptic can argue forever and never learn anything. Other memes are fit because of the nature of communication. Imagine a group of people playing the game of telephone. One player starts by whispering a sentence in the next player's ear. That player whispers whatever she hears to the next player, who continues the process until the message, usually garbled beyond recognition, finally makes its way back to the originator, who bursts out laughing at the way his message has evolved. This is meme evolution in a microcosm. What kind of memes survive the ordeal? Familiarity. The familiar spreads more quickly than the unfamiliar because people have distinction memes for familiar things already and therefore notice them more. Making sense. Memes that make sense spread more quickly than ones that don't. People are quick to accept flawed explanations that make more sense over more accurate ones that are harder to understand. My favorite example of meme evolution through the universal game of telephone is Emerson's quotation from his essay Self-Reliance. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. People frequently leave off the first two words, completely changing Emerson's meaning. Emerson's quote points out the danger of falling into the truth trap. The hobgoblin of little minds, what keeps people from making the most of their lives, is allowing the random mimetic programming you got since you were born to direct your life consistent with itself. Understanding mimetics gives you a chance to look inside at what programs you are running, and if you choose, to reprogram yourself powerfully and consciously to point your life in whatever direction you choose. Of course, then you have to look at what programs are governing your evaluation of how you're programmed, at what programs are governing what you think you desire, then at what programs are governing your motives for reprogramming yourself. Soon you find yourself deep into the realm of philosophy. The science of mimetics does not carry with it a value judgment of how you should live your life. It just gives you a lot of power over living it however you choose, consciously. How many of us consciously direct our attention toward whatever is most important to us? I, for one, hate the fact that my attention tends to get sucked in by people and events that push my survive and reproduce buttons, relics of my animal past. Those buttons make me unconsciously waste large portions of my life. The point is that danger, food, and sex are the priorities of your genes, not necessarily your own personal priorities. When you feel your attention being pulled away from what is most important to you by an apparent crisis, the latest and greatest pizza from Domino's, or an attractive passerby, your genes are conspiring to steal your most valuable possession, your consciousness. Ideas are infectious. We catch them from other people's behavior, from the little bits of culture all around us. That's great if the ideas we catch are good ideas, ones that help us with whatever we're up to in life. The problem is, as you've just seen, ideas spread according to how good their memes are, and not so much according to how useful they are in our lives, or even according to how true they are. As nice as it might be to imagine that we're evolving toward a better, more civilized, more compassionate world, what we're really evolving toward is a world full of memes and mind viruses that replicate better. Ever wonder why life can be such a struggle sometimes? There's a fantasy people have that an ideal life would mean just relaxing and doing what comes naturally. Well, I hate to be the one to break the bad news, but what comes naturally is so far removed from our modern life as to be irrelevant. Today, what comes naturally is a horrendous mismatch between the old wiring of our brains for prehistoric times and the completely different challenges and opportunities of the modern world. Our brains are still wired to pay attention to and generate feelings for situations that were important to us in prehistoric times, and important only in the sense that they helped our genes make as many copies of themselves as possible. The ideas that spread the easiest, and therefore pervade society, are the ones that easily penetrate that old Stone Age brain of ours. The whole of science has been a concentrated effort to foil that natural selection of Stone Age ideas by our brains, and instead select ideas that are useful, that work, that are accurate models of reality. But science is way ahead of the rest of culture in that sense. Memes have their own evolutionary path. They do not evolve to support the replication of our genes. Okay, so meme evolution won't automatically contribute to our sex lives or our family size, but at least it will contribute to our survival, won't it? Nope. As we speak, information is finding more and more ways to replicate and survive. Ideas that would once be forgotten without a trace are now available instantly through information retrieval systems. Computers now back themselves up automatically, replicating all the information in themselves. The email chain letter is an early example of a virus hosted by both computers and minds. As computers get smarter, computer-based replicators will become common and start to overtake mind-based memes as the primary repositories and communicators of information. These new replicators could have more influence on the shape of the world than memes do, just as memes overtook DNA as shapers of the global environment. Where is meme evolution taking us? Nirvana? A living hell? Nowhere in particular? Is there anything we can do to direct it? If there is, should we? One key to answering these questions lies in the controversial new field of evolutionary psychology, the study of how and why our minds evolved to be the way they are today. Now let's take a detailed look at the subject that forms the core of evolutionary psychology, and eternally one of our favorite topics, sex.